Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a dramatic event that unfolded in the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia, but with an unexpected twist involving North Korea. Recently, Ukraine found itself facing a massive convoy of North Korean military vehicles being supplied to Russia. More than 300 armored carriers, trucks, and military supply units were being moved into occupied territory to reinforce Russian positions. But Ukraine didn't rush to attack. Instead, they waited. They waited for the perfect moment when every single vehicle was packed tightly on a strategic bridge. And when that moment came, what happened next changed the game on the battlefield. To understand why this moment was so important, we first need to look at why North Korean equipment is even in this war. Russia, exhausted from nearly 3 years of intense fighting, has been burning through its supplies far faster than it can replace them. Its tank factories are struggling, its ammunition output can't match demand, and many of its armored vehicles are being destroyed faster than they can be built. So, Moscow turned to the few nations still willing to support it, and one of the biggest sources has become North Korea. In exchange for Russian satellite technology, fuel, and possibly food aid, North Korea has been sending Russia shells, rockets, drones, and now even armored vehicles. These vehicles aren't the highest quality by modern standards, but they are still dangerous when deployed in large numbers. And that's exactly what Russia attempted: a mass reinforcement. Satellite reconnaissance and Ukrainian intelligence detected the convoy, more than 300 vehicles, all moving across occupied territory to resupply Russian forces preparing for renewed offensives. But here's where Ukraine's planning and patience come into play. Instead of launching airstrikes early when the convoy was spread out, Ukraine monitored every movement. They tracked the route, calculated refueling stops, and watched for terrain features that would limit escape. The perfect location ended up being a bridge, a long, elevated crossing over a river where vehicles would have no cover, no dispersal, and no ability to maneuver. If the convoy reached the front, it would strengthen Russian positions and prolong the war. If Ukraine could strike while it was stuck on a single choke point, the damage would be devastating, and that is exactly what Ukraine prepared to do. Using US-supplied surveillance systems, Ukrainian forces waited until almost all 300+ vehicles were positioned across the bridge and the roads leading onto it. This wasn't luck. This was intelligence, coordination, timing, and precision. Once the order was given, Ukrainian artillery and long-range missiles were activated. Some reports suggest the strike involved HIMARS missile systems supplied by the United States, known for their incredible accuracy and ability to hit targets with precision at long distances. The first missiles struck the front of the convoy, blocking the vehicles from moving forward. The next strike hit the rear ceiling escape. Panic spread immediately. Drivers tried to turn around, but the bridge was too narrow. Vehicles behind them were still driving onto the bridge, unaware of what had just happened ahead. Within minutes, the bridge became a metal trap. Ukraine then began systematically targeting the vehicles stuck in place. The goal was not only to destroy the convoy, but also to prevent salvage. Explosions erupted across the entire length of the crossing. Fuel trucks ignited, sending walls of fire through the air. Ammunition loaded inside the armored carriers detonated, creating chain reactions of shockwaves and shrapnel. The night sky lit up like a battlefield inferno visible for miles. Russian troops accompanying the convoy had no cover, no protective position, and no time to respond. Communications were overwhelmed, and confusion spread through command channels. By the time the smoke began to clear, more than half of the vehicles had been destroyed or were burning. The rest were abandoned, damaged beyond repair, or trapped behind wreckage. This strike accomplished several major strategic objectives for Ukraine. First, it prevented hundreds of new vehicles from reaching the front lines. Second, it sent a loud message to Russia: foreign military support won't guarantee battlefield success. And third, it showcased how effective Western intelligence coordination has become. This wasn't just a strike, it was a demonstration of patience, timing, and precision that would have been nearly impossible early in the war. But there's a broader meaning behind what happened here. Russia is being forced to rely on North Korea, one of the most isolated nations on Earth, because its own ability to sustain war is collapsing. This is the same Russian military that once claimed to be the second strongest in the world. Now it is depending on outdated North Korean equipment just to keep the fighting going, and Ukraine is showing that even those shipments are not guaranteed to make it to the battlefield. For North Korea, this was supposed to be a demonstration of support for its ally. Instead, it turned into a global embarrassment, with videos and satellite images showing destroyed columns of their equipment scattered across a bridge in a foreign war. The message was clear. Sending weapons into a conflict does not mean those weapons will survive. Meanwhile, the United States and its allies have been watching closely. This strike reinforces the idea that providing Ukraine with long-range precision weapons dramatically increases its ability to control the battlefield. Every time Ukraine is given more advanced tools, Russia loses territory, equipment, and manpower at faster rates. And that has shaped ongoing discussions about giving Ukraine even longer-range missiles and more powerful air systems. But beyond the geopolitics and technology, there is a human element here. The soldiers on that bridge were real people. Some were likely conscripts with little training or understanding of the situation they were thrown into. They were caught in circumstances decided by leaders far from the battlefield. War is brutal, unforgiving, and often tragic. And this event is another reminder of how devastating modern precision warfare can be. In the end, Ukraine's strategy worked. The convoy was eliminated. The reinforcement push failed. Russia's attempt to rely on North Korean equipment backfired dramatically. And Ukraine sent a message, even in the face of overwhelming supply and size disadvantages. They are still capable of delivering precise, coordinated, and devastating blows exactly when they matter most. This moment will likely be studied by military analysts for years, not because of the size of the strike, but because of the intelligence, patience, and timing that made it possible. Ukraine didn't win by rushing. They won by waiting. Thank you for watching. If you found this breakdown informative and want more deep analysis on events shaping the modern battlefield, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. Stay informed, stay aware, and as always, take care.